TitleMatchNetwork.com.
You wound up going back to Texas. You went back to, I think you went back to World Class for a little while when Black Bart was there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those guys. Were you surprised at how much World Class had changed in such a short time since the last time you were there?
Well, I guess a little bit, but it was one of those things where you're trying to revive it, bring it back, try to keep it going. Yeah. It was totally different, you had some pretty crazy people in there. Is that when Eric Embry was in?
Yeah.
And they went to the, what was the name of it?
USWA.
Yeah, and then, that all kind of changed. And then Jarrett came in and, I don't know, bought it, whatever he did, and was running it out of there.
Mm-hmm.
That was basically, you knew it was done.
Yeah. What are your memories of matches with Chris Adams?
Well, Chris came over. He was always a very good worker in the ring, and very nice guy, except if he started drinking. He turned on me when he would be drinking. I worked with him once when he was drunk, and he used that super kick thing, and it was pretty tight. So you had to be tight with him, but you took care of him. Guys came, like I said before, if they came to the ring and they were drunk, and you knew it, well, you protected yourself and took care of them and got through it the best you could. Yeah. And the only time, I didn't ever have a problem with Chris. There was never any, heat or anything between either one of us. But I knew when he'd be drinking, I wasn't around.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to World Class. What are your memories of some of the matches you had with the Von Erichs?
Oh, I remember. What I do remember is Kevin. Goddamn Kevin. Kevin could wind up, he would turnbuckle you, and then he'd get back in the corner, and he'd come charging, and he'd get to hopping on one foot, and he'd kick you with the other foot, and he didn't wear any boots. But, oh, God, when he kicked you so hard that, generally, everybody's in pretty good shape. I mean, they might look like pigs, but believe me, if they flex, they can take a shot in the gut or something. But he'd kick you so hard in the stomach or something that it was like, oh, it'd pierce your armor. It's like, oh God, he'd just kill you. So what'd you do? You had to smack him back, and they never complained. None of them did, but they were a little stiff sometimes. Kerry, Kevin, David, Mike, they all were just. They a little bit, but if you smacked them back, they didn't care. They didn't bitch. They didn't cry about it. They weren't like, some of the promoters' kids are like, "Daddy says go down." But they were tough. But I can remember times where, man, it was a battle. And especially with Kevin and David and those guys, you'd be trying to get them, to sell or something, and they never want, they think they got to be up all the time, so you got to constantly be on them to keep them down, and beating on them, and so it got to be a struggle once in a while.
Whose idea was it to put you and your brother under the mask and call you guys the Super Destroyers?
Oh, I don't know that it was anybody's idea. I can just remember that I had been there like 2 years. And I think it was just time for me to get out of there for a while. And I left, and I went to Atlanta for 6 months or something, and I did some stuff with Tommy Rich. And Scott came in, and Scott was there, and I don't know if he came in as a Super Destroyer. I
think he did. I think it was...
He might have come in there as a Super Destroyers, and then it was always that I was going to get out of Texas for a while, and then come back. Well, then when Scott came around, we said, well, hey, let's go back and we'll just go under as the hoods, just go under as a Super Destroyer. I can go back even earlier. I've been gone for a while. I'd go under the Super Destroyer, cut the hair a little bit, and just go in there and have Akbar bring in the Super Destroyers. Fine, it worked great. And so we went in there and did that. We did that for, God, I don't know, I think it was like a year. So I don't even know how long it was. And it all turned out that they pulled the hoods off of Buck Zumhoff and Iceman King Parsons in a title match against Scott and I. We got the belts and they got the masks.
Mm. Yeah.
And then we came out as, then when we came back, we came as the Long Riders.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that a mask gimmick could still get over today?
Well, yeah, I do. It's for one thing, who does it anymore? You know,
Nobody.
what's old is new, and what's new is old.
Yeah.
It all comes in a big circle, and if you watch, eventually people, they're going to get away from the muscle heads too. You watch, they're going to get away. They're going to go back to the big fat flabby guy that's 400 pounds. You watch, it'll come around. It takes time, but it will, because what the heck? Yeah, you get tired of watching a muscle head after so long. And then pretty soon, oh, my dad used to watch all them guys that were muscleheads. I don't like them. I want a fat guy or a skinny guy. It just changes. So I think it'll evolve. It'll come back around, and a masked guy, if you do it right, yeah. Well, look at what's the Mexican guy they got up there?
Oh, Rey Mysterio.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right? He's a masked guy. They've gotten away from it, but eventually they'll come back with a mask. Yeah.
Wow. Memories of matches that you guys have with Fantastics down there.
Oh God, Bobby and
Tommy Rogers.
Tommy Rogers. Well, I remember they were always very good. They were always small, and I remember Scott and I we had the tag team belts in Texas. And we were carrying them. And Scott was always one of those, I don't want to put them over. Look at them. They're small, right? Whatever. They had, that's the like I was saying earlier, a little bit of the old mentality of, I don't know, I'm big, how's he, anyway. And so I can remember, he wasn't that happy. And I truthfully didn't really want to drop the belts to him either, necessarily, But I can remember Ken Mantell talking to us about it, because I think maybe the night before or something we'd work with them and we just beat them up. We didn't put their shit over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so the next night we were there in Fort Worth, and it was TV, and we were going to drop the belts to them. And I can remember Ken talking to us like, well, come on, what are you guys going to do? Yeah. And so I can remember we're dressed, we got the belts on, and we're going to the door to go out, and we stopped. We looked at each other. I said, let's just go out there and fucking fly all over the place and put these motherfuckers over like $1 million. So that's what we did. We went out there, and everything they wanted to do, we flew, big bumps, took all kinds of crap for them, And we thought, hey, yeah, it's great, came back, they were happy, everyone's happy. Ken Mantell comes over and goes, that was a little overbearing. So we went from, you guys sucked, to, well, what the fuck are you doing? That was too much, I was like, oh, God, we just tried to make you happy. What do you want, we could have killed them. Well, what do you want?
Yeah.
So anyway, not that we were going to kill them ever, but, we didn't have to fly around. But I remember Scott and I looked at each other like, let's just go fly around and just, have fun with it. So that's what we did. We always had fun with it.
Could you see the business starting to change in the mid, I guess, to late 80s, where as when you came in, you had all these territories to go, and now we're starting to disappear?
Yeah, you could see it. I guess you'd see it coming, especially. But see, I was in Texas. And we were nationwide. Atlanta was nationwide, and Vince was kind of nationwide. Vince was nationwide. I'd been there for 3 years. There were places to go, but I really wasn't going there. I was down there. What I noticed was that there was a time that the Von Erich boys, David, Kerry, Kevin, they wanted to go nationwide. Fritz would not let them. He was of the old school. The old school was that you didn't promote in someone else's backyard. That was the old style. That's why they had a traveling champion, right? You stay, this is your area. You stay here. who was it over in, Watts was in Louisiana. You went to Mississippi. There was it the Fullers?
I think the Fullers were like southeast, like
and then
Alabama.
There was somebody else that was in Alabama.
Welch, maybe? Warwick Welch?
Yeah. And there was someone that was else. There was
McGurk? They were McGurk?
Maybe, yeah. But everybody, there was little territories. Nobody went outside their area, and they had the champ. That was the NWA. And so when it was all collapsing, Fritz wouldn't go. He wouldn't let the boys go, right? But who went? Vince went. Who's got it? Vince got it. But we were there. We were actually ahead of them. When we had the big show at Texas Stadium, right? That was before their big shows.
Mm-hmm.
And we were ahead of them, but Fritz wouldn't let them go.
Yeah, because that was 84 and WrestleMania was 85.
Yeah, they wouldn't go.
Wow.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.